Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is Julie Kim and I'm a graduate of USC and Harvard University and the founder of Passion Prep. We mentor and guide high school students to get accepted into their dream colleges using their true passion, strength, and potential in life. And this is what we love to do. In this video, I want to share why it is so hard to create a standout factor and get accepted into Ivy League colleges these days. And I'm going to share the three reasons with you in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. The first reason is the academic interest. This is what we call your major. And a lot of the times when I talk to students who enroll in our programs during our first call, many of them either don't know what they want to pursue in college, or they have an idea, but they're not really sure how it's going to play into their application process. So for example, a student can say, okay, I'm really interested in biomedical engineering because of some extracurricular activities. But there are two questions that I need to ask the student. Number one, are you 100% certain that you're going to pursue this in college, or is it just kind of like your surface level interest right now? Because if this is something that you're passionate about and on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 10, and you have research and summer programs to truly support this major, then sure, we will go for it. We understand that it can be competitive, but we will still, put you out there because you are competitive as well. Another reason this major can be a little bit of a hit or miss is that not every college offers biomedical engineering to undergraduate students. So what happens then is it limits your college list significantly, which is something that we don't want to do. Typically, I have my students apply to about 15 to 18 colleges these days. But then the second question that I like to ask the family is, well, is it important that you get into a college using a relevant major to biomedical engineering, and then when you get into college, you can continue to support that major, or you can change it. So those are some of the ways that I like to gauge what the values are for the students. And sometimes I recommend easier majors to my students just because it's going to be way higher of an acceptance rate to get into that major and that school. UC Berkeley announced data that 80% of their undergraduate students changed their majors. So a lot of high school students don't always know exactly what they want, but sometimes the name of the major can sound very competitive, or it just sounds a little bit more attractive, so it gets the students to wanting to apply to that. But that decision could significantly lower your chances, decrease your chances of getting into the college altogether. So definitely think about that. But the reason why it's hard for students to stand out is because if you don't know what your academic interest is, it holds you back. You don't know what extracurricular activities you need to participate in that will support your academic interest because you don't know what your academic interest is. So it truly becomes a bottleneck to your college admissions process. So I have our students figure this out as soon as possible. I give them a lot of resources, faculty pages, research papers, so that you're really taking action and diving into learning more about your academic interests. And we want to figure that out as soon as possible. Now, you don't have to select your major and let that be your career forever. We all know that that's not going to happen, but just know that we're progressing towards your interests, and it's like your entire life, right? Basically, we don't want to just get into college just to get into college. At the same time, you need to explore what your passions are, your strength, your values, your academic topics that really excite you. So we also want to move you forward as a young individual. The second reason why it is so hard to stand out these days is that many students are very fixated on a specific college. So I know we always ask hey, where do you want to go? What is your dream college? And we usually say Harvard, USC, UPenn. It's very fixated, and a lot of students will tell me oh my gosh, Julie, if I don't get into this college, my life is going to be over. And I have to really reorient my students' mindset and thought process, because there are thousands and thousands of colleges in this country, and so you're not just limited to that one college. And even if you are competitive to get into, let's say, Yale University, Yale might reject you because some things might not fit, your school, zip code and all of that does not meet the quota for the school. So there's a lot of political things at play, not just you, right? So what I like to say is let's pick out a lot of colleges, I would say 5 to 7, that you're really truly passionate about. And then we can go ahead and try to see commonalities between those colleges, get to learn their mission statement and their values, and how it connects to your potential major and your academic interest. So then it gives you a lot more knowledge about the school. You also know what these colleges are focusing on in terms of their research and their funding to your academic interests. For example, Carnegie Mellon was one of the first colleges in the country to implement an AI major. And so maybe a student is really interested in the intersection between AI and medical diagnosis. And so that's the reason why we go to Carnegie Mellon. Or we really like Johns Hopkins University because they're doing stem cell research connected to how it is affected by our environmental toxins, right? So our reasoning needs to be very much connected to two things: your academic interest, because you should not change yourself just to get into college. And number 2 is going to be how your academic interest is supported by the colleges that you're really interested in going to. So if you merge those things together, you are truly creating a standout factor without even you knowing it. And so that is my biggest recommendation to you, is to broaden your dream colleges a little bit, and that also gives you more freedom and confidence, and you won't feel so anxious anymore, because I know the thought is always like, okay, well, if I don't get into this college, then I'm going to be a failure, and we just don't want to be in that thought process during your high school years. The third reason why it is so hard to stand out is because many students and parents are fixated on quantity. They want to, of course, take a lot of APs and honored classes, volunteer, summer programs, sports, instrument. It kind of try to really check off that list. And unfortunately, those things no longer work in the college admissions process because there are way too many applicants doing those things. I'm not saying that you staying busy is not a good thing, right? It's great. Like, you have good work ethic, you're hardworking, but what's really going to get the colleges to understand you and help you stand out in this process is when you are really deepening your academic interest, identifying what your true values are, instead of just saying, here are all the things that I did and there you go. Because then it's hard for the colleges to know, who are you? How do you fit into the school? What perspectives do you hold about certain topics in this world and the academic interest of your choice? So they want to learn more about your thought process versus, here are all the things that I did, right? And a lot of the times when my students do instruments or sports for a really long time, and it's great, like you're showing commitment, persistence, teamwork, and all of that. When it comes time for us to write about these activities, there's really not much that comes out of it. So if you really love your sport, and again, the scaling system out of 1 to 10, if it's at a 10, you can't live without it. We will definitely craft a good story for you. But if that's not the case, then we really need to think about, okay, if I drop the sports for the next year so I can focus on my research or my summer programs or things that are actually going to help me stand out, that's really not a bad idea. So I really don't want you to think that doing more is impressive. I know we live in a society when we feel like when we stay busy, we seem very productive and successful, but I kind of look at it differently. Like, I think the more free time you have doing the things you love, that's the true definition of success. So definitely want to help you reframe the whole like work hard and spend a lot of time doing something and grind. Like, those are the things that we want to kind of move away from in our society today and moving forward. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's video today. And I'm hosting a live training at passionprep.com/live. And I will cover what are some of the updated policies that's happened with SAT and ACT. So if you've been kind of confused about, do I take the test or not take the test? Should I take the SAT or the ACT? I'll go ahead and talk about that topic. So you can reserve your free seat again at passionprep.com/live, and I'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching today. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.